This is the third video regarding not-for-profit organization. In this, we will be discussing about fund-based accounting and subscription in addition to few terms. Okay, important terms. What is fund-based accounting? No, this system of accounting you will find in not-for-profit organizations. Okay, in this NPOs establish a uh, fund for a specific purpose and has received donation for a specific purpose. It is credited to the separate fund account. Okay, separate fund account, and the expenses relating to it and income from it are debited and credited. Expenses are debited to the separate fund. In the same manner, incomes are credited to the separate fund, and whatever balance is left, that means if credit balance income is more, credit balance of the fund is there, it will be shown on the liability side of the balance sheet. And in case the balance in fund account is debit, it is transferred to income and expenditure account. Okay, if credit balance is there, it is shown on the liability side, and if the fund is having a debit balance, the account is having a debit balance, then it will be transferred to the debit of income and expenditure account. So what is fund based accounting? Whatever fund is received for a specific purpose, it is credited to a separate fund account. Okay, like donation, sports fund is there, or annual function fund is there, library fund is there. So a separate account is created, income is credited to that, and expenses are debited, and credit balance will be shown on the liability side and debit balance to the income and expenditure account. Then entrance fee or admission fee. Okay, entrance fee or admission fee is a revenue receipt and therefore accounted in income and expenditure account. Sometimes if the NPO, if admission fee and entrance fee is not regular in nature, in that case it can be capitalized. Okay, life membership fees will be capitalized. Okay, it will be added to the capital fund. Special receipts, it is not shown in the income and expenditure, but it is shown on the liability side. Okay, like contribution towards annual dinner. Okay, it will be shown separately on the liability side. Okay, and if any expenses is there, then that expenses will be debited against this account, and if any balance is there, if credit balance, again in the liability side, and if the expenses are more, then it will be transferred to income and expenditure account. General donation will be treated as income. Okay, and credited to the income and expenditure account. If it is specific nature donations, it will be shown on the liability side of balance sheet. Okay, like donation for building. Legacy, now it is the amount received by the NPO under the will of a deceased person. While before death, a person will make his will, and in the will, if he donates some portion of his property towards NPO, it is known as legacy. Now depending upon the amount, okay, if the donor has not specified the conditions, then it will be treated as a revenue receipt and credited to income and expenditure. But if the condition is specified, then it will be treated as capital receipt and shown as a special fund in the liability side. If assets are sold and if profit is there, it will be shown on the income side, and if loss is there, then it will be debited to income and expenditure. Okay, sale of old sports material, then it will be considered as income. Okay, sports materials are consumable items, so it is written off, its value is not considered, so whatever amount is received will be considered as income. Okay, credited to income and expenditure account. Consumption of consumable items, like stationery is consumed, medicines are consumed, sports material is consumed, all will be treated as expense and debited to the income and expenditure account. And how to calculate consumable items? Purchases plus opening stock minus closing stock, we will get the amount consumed. okay, and it will be debited to income and expenditure account. Then subscription is the amount which is paid by the member to keep his membership alive. Okay, it is an income, and uh, in case of subscription, following adjustments are done. In case like subscription received during the year, okay, amount of subscription received during the year, then if any outstanding subscription is there for the current year, it will be added. Subscription outstanding for the current year will be added, and subscription received in advance in the beginning of the year for the current year will also be added. That means all the subscription which is related to the current year, whether it is received or it was already received in the previous year, will be added, and subscription outstanding which was received during the current year but is related to the previous year will be deducted, and advance received for the next year will also be deducted. Okay, and that will give us the amount of subscription to be shown in income and expenditure account. Now let's take one question from our book relating to the fund based accounting. Okay, here tournament fund is given. Okay, opening balance of tournament fund is 1,50,000, and as discussed, now see here we are not making a separate account, but we are showing all the calculations on the liability side of the balance sheet. So opening balance of tournament fund is 1,50,000 rupees, this amount. Okay, so it is shown on the liability side as opening balance, and from this amount it was invested outside the business, so 1,50,000 it will be shown on the asset side. Okay, now income from the tournament from investment is 18,000 rupees. Income is there, so it will be added. Income from tournament fund investment, it will be added to the tournament fund's opening balance. Then there is expense 12,000 rupees, it will be deducted. Okay, tournament expenses 12,000 will be deducted. Still there is accrued interest, that means income we have earned not received. It will have two effect. It will be shown on the asset side 6,000, and it's a income, so it will be added to the tournament fund. So all the incomes will be credited to the tournament fund, or we can say added to the opening balance. So 1,50,000 plus 18,000 plus 6,000 is 1,74,000, minus the expenses 12,000, so 1,62,000. Now see, the total of asset side and credit side will not match. Okay, it is relevant information only. Okay, so all the incomes will be credited or added to the opening balance. If the total is less than the total expenses, then the excess amount, the excess expense will be debited to income and expenditure account. Otherwise, if the balance, opening balance is more than then in that case it will be shown in the liability side. Then one more question relating to subscription. Okay, see, the amount of subscription received during the year is 10,000 rupees. Subscription outstanding in the beginning was 2,000, and our subscription outstanding at the end is 4,000. See, at the end is related to current year, and it is in the beginning outstanding is related to previous year, so it will be deducted. Our subscription outstanding for the current year will be added. Okay, see, the 4,000 rupees is added, and this outstanding in the beginning is deducted. In the same manner, advance in the beginning is related to current year, so that amount will be added. Okay, and advance at the end of the year is related to next year, so it will be deducted. After all the plus and minus, the amount 13,000 is received, and it is shown on the credit side of income and expenditure, as subscription is considered as income.